Hello everyone, welcome, welcome, welcome. Susan Lazar-Hart here, your host on Congruent Living with our Congruent Living Q&A today. Yes, live. Come on in with your questions. We are starting off with the question that came in for this week, and it has to do with Susan. Basically, what's all this about surrendering? Right? Like, I'm just going to go to her question here. And the question has to do with what can I create when I surrender? And then the longer question was, I don't really get it. Right? Well, here's the deal. We've been taught in this reality that, hey, sorry, I'm so excited about this topic. I just dove right in. Come on in with your questions. Let us know where you're from. Say hi. You don't have to hide. It's okay. And if you're watching later, hashtag replay. Congruent Living Coaching for creatives, for seekers, asking to go from it's impossible to I am truly possible. And that's what it's all about when we surrender. So surrendering has nothing to do with quitting. Right? Hey, Eleanor, welcome, welcome. Tell us where you're from. Surrendering has to do with receiving, right? So in this reality, we're taught, like when you go to the dog park and you see two dogs fighting, and the one dog surrenders by putting him or herself on her back and showing the neck, which is, okay, I surrender. Surrender is about receiving. It's not about being a dog in the dog park, right? It's not about quitting. Unless you're willing to let go of whatever it is that you're holding on to as a way of being, as proof for who you are, what you are, and how you are, right? There's no way you're going to receive, because let's talk about the universe, let's talk about energy, let's talk about vibrations, right? So every piece and particle of you has an energetic vibration. If you have a point of view, you're telling the universe, I'm holding on to this, and that's the vibration that you will be attracting. So for instance, I had a client recently that called me up. She's planning something amazing in her life, and it's just not working out the way she thought. So every time we have a conversation, she goes back into what wasn't working and brings it into the future, and then decides who she's going to be now. So she's going to be somebody who's upset. She's going to be somebody who's holding on to whatever it is that she decided should be working to what actually wasn't working. Now, you hear the wasn't, you hear the energy that comes out of that? There are no possibilities. There's no living in the question. So once we worked together, and she got that awareness that as long as she put her energy on what wasn't working, she would be getting more of that. It's like you're like those people on the beach who walk around looking for jewelry and stuff that's left in the sand and money after everybody leaves. If you're looking for problems, your Geiger counter is going to be geared towards those problems. And what I'm asking you to do this week is let it go, right? If you're willing to surrender all of those problems as just an interesting point of view that actually have nothing to do with you. So what I'd like you to do is get clear with what you're afraid of happening. So if, again, let's use this client, as she was planning this amazing event, and then the information coming back wasn't turning out the way she thought it should be, the way she wanted to receive it, right? There was no clarity there because she was afraid that it wouldn't be perfect. So if you have a point of view about something having to be perfect, and there's no letting go for something greater to show up. So you're always going to be the victim, and you're always going to be the one that says, well, why do I have to give in? They're wrong. They have the wrong information. They didn't do it right. They're not giving me what I want. If you have that point of view, you're always going to be holding on to what isn't working. So it's really about surrendering, letting it go. Ask yourself, does choosing this create greater? Hey, Jeannie Jones, does choosing this create greater? So again, number one, get clear with what you're afraid of happening if you choose to surrender. Right? Get clear. Is this truth? Is this really true? Does this create greater? You know, one of the questions that I ask myself every day as I create with my business, my life, my living, my money flows, I'll ask, what choice could I choose right now that will create greater? Will choosing this add to my team? What is it that my team is asking of me, right? And I'm not just talking about my team, my virtual assistant, the people I work with to get these emails out to you and these videos out to you. I'm talking about my guides, right? My team, my guides, right? Whether they're archangels, whether they're, people have joined me from past lives, future lives, whatever that is, to contribute to me, whether it's my higher self, whatever you want to call it, the universe, right? That inner voice. They're all here to contribute to you. So again, if you want to get clear with what is it that you're afraid of, because it's not the information that's coming in, it's you've decided that there's something to be afraid of, with opening yourself up to greater possibilities, with letting it go, with surrendering. All right. Surrendering is about receiving. So number 2, create clarity on how you choose to feel, right? Create clarity on how you choose to feel. Now, we know a thought creates a feeling, which then creates the emotion. So if you're all stressed, and we talked about this, right? This client and I, how are you choosing to feel? Does this feel like it will create greater for you or lesser for you? So get clear with what you're afraid of happening. If you choose to surrender, get clear. Is that your fear or somebody else's? And create clarity on how you choose to feel and focus on that. You know, at the Congruent Living Academy last week, we were talking about what's my next best thought, right? Because yes, what my next best step, what's your next best thought? And if you're willing to play with that, it brings you right back into who you truly be. And the third portion that I want to talk to you about today, before we open this up to questions, is being present. Right? Being really, really present. When you decide that your life is based on your experiences, you're not being present with this cornucopia, with this buffet that's here for you. And there's all different ways we have to be present. Some people choose meditation in the morning. Some people go for walks. Some people sing, swim, ride horses, hug a tree. Just be present, right? Again, something we're not taught in this reality. So, as this is not a dialogue or a monologue, it's a conversation. Come on in with your questions. If you're that person that asks the question, Susan, how do I create with surrendering? I hope that this has given you lots and lots of juicy nuggets and tools. The biggest thing that I can say for you is give it a try. Right? If your day isn't working for you, change it up. Now, I know a lot of clients that come to me and they're just not focused at the top of the morning. And my biggest thing is, let's get you focused in how you begin your day, right? Are you willing to surrender? Are you willing to surrender? Before you go to bed at night, are you willing to let go of everything that you've been holding on to? And just say to yourself, I'm at peace, I'm at ease, I appreciate whatever that is. I'm so grateful for, you fill in the blank. And I'm let go and let God, right? Because we are that source, right? It's really about let go, let God, let whatever God means to you, that the universe, the divine source, your archangels, again, whatever that means, your guides, invite them in to contribute to you. Because as long as you're holding on to anything as a reason and justification for who you are, you're holding yourself back from who you truly be. And it's right here waiting for you. So, any questions, anything popping for people, any takeaways? If not, I will love you and leave you. Check your newsletter. I always have, oh, thank you so much, Jeannie Jones. Thank you so much. Check your newsletters. I always have more juicy details, and the 3 questions that I've asked you are in your newsletters. I'll put the link in here just in case you're not on our mailing list. Yeah, what's popping for you? You know, right, have a thought about this. Try out some of the juicy nuggets that I've laid out here for you and pop it in the comments, because you know the best conversations happen over here on our I got it. Wednesdays now. Deborah says yes, Wednesdays now, Deborah. Hold on a second. The best conversations happen right here at Congruent Living for Seekers and Creatives. Deborah, Wednesdays now. Yep. Here's a perfect example of surrendering. So I've been asking lots of questions. How can I reach more people? Who is it that is out there that's asking for this information? And how can we create more conversations right now? And I kind of took an aerial view of how I was creating, how I am creating, where I would like to go with Congruent Living. And you know me, I'm a people person, right? I gotta have that give and take. I don't just sit behind and just do videos for nobody for nothing, right? This is what calls me, right? You are what calls me. Deborah says, thank you, love it. And so I just took an aerial view and I thought, okay, what was fun for me was actually doing the live Q&As. On Sundays, not so much, right? Now I have Saturdays and Sundays for family, for friends, for me, for the world. And my business is basically seeing clients Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and Mondays and Fridays are work associated with what I'm creating and how I'm creating, setting up all kinds of goodies with my VA, my virtual assistant, just checking in, that kind of thing. And now that it's so much more fun, right? And I get to talk to you on Wednesdays. So people have been writing me with their questions. Our next month, which is coming right up, is going to be about relationships. So that should be pretty juicy. And as promised, I am creating something a little special. Please, if you've done a masterclass or a challenge, I have sent you an email. Check your emails, check your junk mail, in which I've asked you a couple of questions of which did you prefer, a challenge, a masterclass, and there's a few other questions in there. And for those of you who are daring to reply, which some of you already have, thank you so much, I'm going to give you a link to my calendar so we can dive in. With a special offer from me of a laser session as a thank you for responding to those emails. So how does it get any better than that? Yay! So much fun to play with. And as always, I adore you. Thank you so much for showing up. If there are no questions, I will love you and leave you. There we go. Remember, ask yourself, am I clear with what I've decided is going to be happening so I can let that go? I can surrender all my points of views, right? Key point here is when you're willing to surrender, you actually receive more, right? Surrender is not giving up. It's not quitting. It's about taking an aerial view, looking at what you're holding on to and letting it go and letting it flow. So there's more of you showing up every day in every way. All right, love you, live boldly, love greatly, and be that fearless leader that you came here to be, because the world needs more of you and that special sauce and the courage you have to show up every day in every way. A new you. Wonder what that could create. Have an amazing day. Love ya. Bye-bye.